The sky above Earth was quiet, almost peaceful when the first signs of movement appeared. High above the clouds, strange glimmers of light moved against the darkness of space. Satellites scattered across the orbit began to flicker and die, one by one. The world's defense systems detected the anomaly instantly, but no one could believe what they were seeing. John Carter, a calm man in his mid-30s who had spent years coordinating Earth's space surveillance, sat at the command center in New York. The screens in front of him showed an enormous fleet approaching Earth from deep space. The shapes were unlike anything humans had ever built. They were tall, sleek, and glowing faintly, with a design that seemed alive. "This can't be real," he whispered to himself, though he knew it was. Lisa Morris, his colleague and longtime friend, stood behind him, her eyes wide with disbelief. She was always practical, a problem solver, but even she couldn't hide the tension. "They're real," she said softly, "and they're coming straight for us." Across the world, other human monitoring stations detected the fleet. In Tokyo, Daniel Brooks, a young engineer with a talent for understanding alien tech, stared at the screens and shook his head. "The sensors are reading them as organic in some ways," he said. "They're ships, they're almost alive." The alien fleet moved slowly at first, as if observing the planet below. They had been gone for 500,000 years. Humans had evolved, spread across the Earth, and developed civilizations, but the aliens had left without a trace. They had returned now, curious, perhaps expecting the same primitive humans they had abandoned so long ago. They were about to find a world completely changed. Amy Foster, a historian working with the United Nations on extraterrestrial studies, watched from her office in Geneva. She had spent her life studying alien records and the few scraps of technology left behind by previous encounters. She had always believed the legends that humans were once observed by advanced beings, but she never thought the aliens would come back. Not now, not ever. The first contact was not immediate. The aliens did not descend in fiery ships or send messages. They waited in orbit, silently scanning the planet. John and his team tried to communicate, but every attempt at sending signals was blocked or ignored. It was as if the aliens were trying to understand something about humanity before making their presence fully known. For the humans, fear mixed with fascination. Television channels around the world broadcast live images of the fleet, and social media exploded with speculation. Governments held emergency meetings. Military leaders prepared defenses, but there was no panic. The humans of Earth had learned to survive, to be cautious but confident in their abilities. John turned to Lisa and spoke quietly. "We need to assume they expect us to be weak. That's the only reason they're here. They want to see what we've become." Lisa nodded. "We've changed a lot in 500,000 years," she said, "and not in ways they might like." The aliens were not like the humans of the present. Their bodies, if they could be called that, were tall, slender, and covered in a shimmering exoskeleton that reflected light in strange patterns. Their eyes glowed with intelligence and curiosity. They had evolved to survive the harshest conditions of space travel, and they had never needed to worry about other species. As the fleet hovered above Earth, small ships detached and entered the atmosphere. They moved without sound, hovering over cities, forests, and oceans. John, Lisa, Daniel, and Amy watched as the ship scanned human structures, as if trying to detect something hidden. What they did not realize was that humans had built layers of defense and observation over centuries. Underground cities, secret laboratories, and hidden satellites gave humans the advantage of surprise. In Washington, a council of leaders met in a secure chamber. They were informed of the fleet's approach and the small ship's entry into the atmosphere. John Carter had been summoned to give a report. "They are not attacking," John said, "but they are observing. They are scanning everything. I believe they expect to find humans still weak, divided, and unaware. They are in for a shock." A general spoke from the far end of the room. "Shock or not, we need to prepare for conflict. If they have the technology we think they have, any delay could be fatal." Amy Foster shook her head. "We can't assume they are hostile. They may just want to understand what they abandoned. 500,000 years is a long time. They might not even recognize humans as the same species they left behind." Outside, the alien ships began moving closer to major cities. People on the ground could not see them clearly, but the sensors detected them. John Carter and his team calculated their paths and predicted where they would hover next. Surprisingly, the ships avoided direct attack positions. Instead, they lingered, almost hesitating, over human population centers. Daniel Brooks leaned forward, pointing at one of the monitors. "Look at that. Their energy signatures are stable, almost hesitant. They're observing, not attacking, but their technology is way beyond ours. One wrong move and we could be wiped out in minutes." "That's why we wait," John said. "We've prepared, we've anticipated this. For 500,000 years, humans have survived everything. We are not afraid." Lisa Morris moved to another console and began scanning the ships for weaknesses. "They don't have any obvious ones, but their patterns are too regular. They're cautious. Whatever they think they know about us is wrong. That gives us an advantage." As the night progressed, the world watched in awe and fear. News reports showed the massive fleet in orbit, small ships hovering silently above cities, and crowds of people looking up, some praying, some taking pictures, some simply frozen in disbelief. Amy Foster explained to the council what she had discovered from ancient records. "These aliens studied humans long ago. They viewed us as primitive, fragile, and easily controlled. They abandoned us because they thought we would fail. They never imagined we could evolve beyond their understanding." John nodded. "And now we have. The question is, how will they react when they see what humanity has become?" The aliens, meanwhile, were growing restless. Their scanning ships moved more frequently, hovering over places that had hidden human installations. Their sensors picked up energy levels, communication signals, and movements that did not match their ancient expectations. They did not understand the depth of human coordination. In New York, John Carter coordinated a plan with Lisa and Daniel. "We can't attack them. We don't know their motives yet. But we need to show them that we are united, that we are aware of them, and that we can defend ourselves if necessary." Lisa typed rapidly on the console, sending out a controlled energy pulse into orbit, designed to be detected but not harmful. It was a signal of intelligence, a warning that humans were ready to respond. The pulse traveled into space and was picked up by the alien ships almost immediately. For the first time, the aliens changed formation. They were curious, observing more closely. Amy Foster watched the data stream. They expected nothing. They expected fear, confusion, maybe chaos. Instead, they see organization, coordination, and strategy. This will make them hesitate. As the hours passed, humans around the world continued to observe. Governments issued calm statements, urging people to stay indoors but not panic. John and his team analyzed every movement of the alien ships. They began to notice patterns in the aliens, scanning methods, hints of their thought process, and even glimpses of hesitation. "They think they are superior," Daniel said quietly, "but they haven't accounted for one thing: human adaptability. We survive because we change, we learn, we evolve, and they don't understand that anymore." In Geneva, Amy Foster gave a briefing to the council. "The aliens believe they abandoned a weak species. They expect to find the same humans they studied 500,000 years ago, but humanity has grown beyond their calculations. We are not the species they left behind." The council members listened in awe. Some were skeptical, some worried, but all understood that the humans of Earth were about to face a test unlike any before. As dawn approached, the alien ships began to retreat slightly, moving to higher orbit. It was a subtle move, but it spoke volumes. They were reconsidering their assumptions. For the first time in 500,000 years, the aliens realized that Earth was no longer a world of weakness. It was a world of surprises. John Carter looked out the window at the rising sun. The sky was still filled with strange glimmers of light from orbit, but for the first time, he felt a sense of pride rather than fear. Humanity had survived everything history had thrown at it. And now even the most advanced beings from beyond the stars would learn that humans were not to be underestimated. Lisa Morris stood beside him. "They came back expecting to find a dead world," she said softly. "Instead, they found us." John nodded. "And what they find next might be the beginning of their biggest mistake." The world held its breath. The aliens waited in orbit. Humans waited on the ground, and for the first time in 500,000 years, both sides realized that this meeting would change everything. The night ended, and the first part of the encounter was over. The aliens had arrived, but the real story of humanity's strength was only beginning. The morning sun rose over a quiet Earth, but above, the alien fleet moved silently. The ships, sleek and alive with light, hovered in orbit, scanning every inch of the planet. They had expected weakness, fear, and chaos. Instead, they found calm, coordination, and readiness. This realization unsettled them more than any attack could. John Carter sat in the command center in New York, watching the alien ships' movements. He and his team had spent the night analyzing patterns, predicting where the ships might go next, and sending signals of observation. The aliens responded not with words but with subtle shifts in orbit. It was clear they were thinking, reconsidering their expectations. "They're hesitant," Lisa Morris said, pointing at the screen. "They expected chaos, they expected panic, but we stayed calm." "And now they don't know what to do." Daniel Brooks leaned over another console. "Their scanning methods are advanced but predictable. They are careful, almost cautious. They are studying us the way we might study a small animal in a lab, but the animal is watching back, aware of every move." Amy Foster joined them, carrying a thick file of ancient alien records. "They abandoned us because they thought we were weak," she said. "But they never counted on humanity surviving everything. 500,000 years of evolution, adaptation, and learning. They don't know what we've become." In Washington, the Council of Leaders debated their next steps. Some wanted to strike first, using the planet's hidden defenses. Others argued for patience. John Carter, speaking through a secure line, advised calm observation. "An attack now could be catastrophic," he said. "We don't even know their motives. Patience is our advantage. They believe we are weak, but we have time to show them otherwise." The aliens in their orbit began sending small observation drones into the atmosphere. The drones moved like living things, slipping between clouds, forests, and cities. They scanned humans with instruments that read energy, biology, and communication. Their goal was clear: to understand the species they had abandoned. On the ground, humans watched the drones with curiosity and fear. No one could see them clearly, but sensors detected them everywhere. John, Lisa, Daniel, and Amy coordinated a plan to monitor and record the drones' activity. Every signal, every movement, every pulse of energy was carefully logged. Daniel studied one of the drones on the screen. "They're scanning everything," he said. "Our cities, our networks, even underground structures, but they are missing a lot. They think they know us, but they don't." Lisa nodded. "We've built layers of defense they can't detect. Secret cities, hidden facilities, advanced satellites. We are ready for anything, even if they try to strike." Amy looked at the map of the world. "They are searching for humans, for weakness, for something familiar, but they won't find it. We've hidden our full strength for centuries. They don't know we are united." John Carter spoke quietly. "They expect fear, they expect chaos, but what they see is coordination. That is the first shock, and there will be more." The first real interaction came when the aliens attempted to disable a group of satellites over the Pacific Ocean. Their energy beams struck the orbiting machines, and for a moment, it seemed like the satellites would fail. Then suddenly the satellites corrected themselves, using automated systems the aliens could not anticipate. The attack failed, and the aliens paused, confused. "They underestimated us," Daniel said. "We are not the same species they left behind. Every time they try something, we adapt and we survive. They didn't plan for this." John Carter nodded. "And that's just the beginning. They have no idea how far humanity has come." The aliens, seeing the failure, increased their scanning. They focused on human networks, energy grids, and communications, but every signal they intercepted was encrypted or misleading. Humans had learned to hide their true capabilities. The aliens began to realize that Earth was not an easy target. It was not a simple experiment. It was a planet of surprises. Amy Foster turned to the Council in Geneva. "The aliens are trying to assess our strength, but they are using old assumptions. They think we are primitive. They don't understand our technology, our unity, or our planning. We have an advantage because they are blinded by history." John Carter began to plan the next step. They needed to show the aliens that humanity was aware of them, capable of defense, and no longer weak. But they also wanted to avoid unnecessary conflict. The goal was simple: make the aliens understand that humans were now strong, clever, and dangerous if provoked. Lisa Morris began sending controlled signals to the alien fleet. The pulses were subtle, harmless, but intelligent. They demonstrated awareness, calculation, and control. The aliens detected the signals and paused. Their formations shifted, their scanning patterns changed. They were no longer sure of what to expect. "They think they know us," Lisa said, "but they have no idea. Every move we make confuses them. They are learning the hard way that humans survive by adapting." Daniel Brooks studied the data from the drones. "Look at this," he said. "Their sensors can detect energy, life signs, and communication. But they can't see the hidden cities, the underground networks, the satellites designed to survive their scans. They think they see everything, but we control the unknown." Amy Foster added, "They expect fear, they expect panic. Instead, they are met with calm, intelligence, and coordination. That is the first lesson they will learn, and it will only get worse for them if they push further." As the day passed, the aliens attempted another minor demonstration of power. A small fleet of ships approached a coastal city, hovering silently over the ocean. Their goal seemed to be intimidation, a reminder of their technology. John Carter and his team monitored the approach. They did not panic. Instead, they activated subtle defenses. Drones and satellites created a pattern of energy around the city, harmless but visible to alien sensors. It was a display of awareness and control. The aliens observed and paused. They did not attack, but the hesitation was clear. They were beginning to understand that humans were not as weak as they had believed. In New York, John spoke to Lisa, Daniel, and Amy. "They think they are testing us, but every test fails. We are not the same species. They left us behind, but they will regret it if they push too far." Lisa smiled slightly. "They are learning, slowly, but they are learning." The humans also began to gather information on the aliens themselves. Every movement, every energy signature, every pattern was recorded and analyzed. Humanity had waited for centuries for this moment, and they had prepared for it. The aliens were powerful, but they were not invincible. Amy Foster studied historical records of the aliens, tracing their previous encounters with humans. "They left us because they thought we were fragile, but history shows the opposite. Humans survive, humans adapt, humans grow stronger when challenged." "That is why they are confused now," Daniel Brooks nodded. "And that is why we have the advantage. We are unpredictable, we are patient, we are aware. They cannot calculate our moves, not fully." As night fell again, the aliens moved slightly away from the cities, maintaining orbit but observing more cautiously. The humans of Earth had survived the first wave of intimidation, and they had done so without firing a shot. The aliens realized that the planet below was not the weak, divided world they had expected. John Carter looked out the window at the dark sky. The alien ships glowed faintly, scanning and observing. He knew this was only the beginning. Humanity had shown awareness, intelligence, and control, but the aliens had not yet understood the full depth of human power. Lisa Morris stood beside him. "They are beginning to respect us," she said quietly, "or at least they are afraid to make a mistake." John nodded. "They don't know what they will face if they do, and soon they will learn that humans never forget and humans never give up." Amy Foster sent another report to the council. "We have survived the first interactions without conflict. We have shown the aliens that we are organized, aware, and capable. They are starting to realize that Earth is not a world to conquer. It is a world to respect or fear." Daniel Brooks added, "And the more they learn, the more they will fear. They underestimated us once. They will not make that mistake again." The night passed quietly, but the tension remained. The aliens stayed in orbit, scanning, observing, and learning. Humans stayed alert, coordinated, and patient. Both sides knew that the next move could change everything. John Carter finally allowed himself a moment of thought. 500,000 years had passed since the aliens had abandoned Earth. Humanity had survived, evolved, and grown stronger. Now, the same beings who once dismissed humans as weak were back, expecting the same old planet. Instead, they found a world ready, aware, and united. Lisa Morris looked at him, her eyes reflecting determination. They came back expecting to find easy prey. Instead, they found humans who were ready for anything. The question now is, how will they react? John smiled slightly, a mix of pride and caution. "They will react, and when they do, they will discover that Earth is no longer the world they left behind. They will see the power of humanity, and they will understand that we are not to be underestimated." Above the planet, the alien fleet paused. They were not attacking, not yet. They were recalculating, analyzing, and reconsidering their expectations. They had returned to Earth expecting weakness, but what they found was strength, intelligence, and unity. And on Earth, humans waited, ready for whatever would come next. The alien fleet remained in orbit, their ships glowing faintly against the black of space. After their initial observations, The aliens had begun to understand that Earth was not the weak world they had abandoned 500,000 years ago. Yet, even as they studied, they could not fully grasp the scale of human evolution, resilience, and hidden strength. John Carter and his team continued to monitor the ships from New York. The humans had not fired a single weapon, yet the aliens were visibly uneasy. Their scanning patterns had grown erratic, hesitant, almost fearful. It was clear the aliens were struggling to process what they saw. Amy Foster was at the center of the analysis room, poring over ancient records that detailed the original interactions between humans and these alien visitors. "They think they abandoned us because we were fragile," she said, pointing at a holographic display of alien data. "But they don't know that every attempt to control or destroy humanity only made us stronger." Lisa Morris leaned over the console. "They must be realizing that we survived everything. Every war, every disaster, every natural catastrophe. And now they are seeing us as organized, prepared, and capable. They are terrified of mistakes they never thought they could make." Daniel Brooks was quiet for a moment, studying a set of data that had been captured from the alien drones. "Look at this," he said. "They are scanning our energy grids, our communications networks, even underground facilities. They are trying to understand us, but they cannot. There is so much they don't know, and they are beginning to realize it." The aliens had returned to Earth expecting humans to be the same primitive species they had once dismissed. They had expected weakness, chaos, and fear. What they found instead was calm, intelligence, and strength, but what they did not yet know was how horrifying humanity could appear when fully understood. Amy pulled up an old alien file. "This shows the records of how humans were once treated," she said. "They genetically engineered us, tested us, and tried to limit our evolution. They considered us disposable labor, subjects for experiments. In their arrogance, they thought they could control the future of our species." John Carter frowned. "And yet here we are," he said quietly. "They never imagined that humans could survive extinction attempts, adapt to every challenge, and grow stronger through suffering. That is the truth they will see soon, and it will terrify them." In orbit, the alien ships shifted position. They were beginning to analyze the energy signatures coming from underground human facilities and hidden cities. These signatures revealed advanced technology, energy manipulation, and controlled evolution. They could sense intelligence far beyond what they remembered. One of the alien commanders, a being with a shimmering exoskeleton and glowing eyes, spoke to the fleet. "We underestimated them," it said. "They are no longer primitive. They have adapted beyond our calculations. Proceed with caution. They are dangerous." The humans, unaware that the aliens were communicating, continued to monitor and analyze. John Carter spoke to his team. "They are afraid. They do not fully understand us yet, but soon they will discover the truth, the part of humanity that even they cannot control or predict." Amy Foster began to explain. "Humans have survived repeated culls, genetic manipulation, and natural disasters. We have built hidden networks, underground cities, and advanced satellites. We have learned to adapt to every environment and every threat. And the aliens have no idea of our reach beyond Earth." Daniel Brooks added, "We have colonized other planets in secret, developed controlled evolution, and learned to manipulate energy and matter in ways they cannot detect. They think they know us, but they are wrong. They are about to face the reality of human strength and cunning." John nodded. "And the more they realize it, the more horrified they will become. We are not just survivors. We are a species that can overcome any obstacle, and we have waited 500,000 years for this moment." The alien commander, still observing, sent a signal to one of its scout ships. The ship moved closer to a human city, scanning everything. For the first time, it detected hidden energy grids, underground facilities, and advanced technology. It relayed the information back to the fleet. The aliens began to process what they were seeing. "These humans, they are not the species we abandoned," one commander said. "They are stronger, smarter, more coordinated. Our calculations were wrong. We did not anticipate this." On Earth, John Carter watched the alien response on the monitors. "They are realizing the truth," he said. "They thought they knew humans. They thought they had left a weak species. Now they are beginning to understand that we are something they cannot control." Lisa Morris typed rapidly on the console. "We are not attacking them," she said. "We are showing them our awareness, our organization, our intelligence." That is enough to make them hesitate, and that hesitation will grow into fear once they see the full truth. Amy Foster continued. The aliens treated humans as experiments, as disposable subjects, but every attempt to limit us, control us, or destroy us only made us stronger. They cannot imagine the full scope of our evolution, our survival instincts, and our hidden capabilities. Daniel Brooks leaned back. They are discovering the horrifying truth. Humans do not break under pressure. We adapt. We survive. We learn. And when we do, we become unstoppable. That is what they are beginning to fear. The alien fleet shifted again, moving to higher orbit. Their scanning drones continued, but their approach was more cautious, more hesitant. They were starting to understand that Earth was not a world to dominate. It was a world of surprises, and humanity was the greatest surprise of all. John Carter addressed the team. They will not attack without knowing everything first, and they cannot know everything. We are hiding our true strength, our true reach. They will realize too late how powerful humanity has become. Lisa Morris smiled. They came back expecting to see weakness. Instead, they are seeing a species that endured every challenge, overcame every threat, and prepared for their return. They are beginning to see the truth. Humanity is not a species to underestimate. Amy Foster added, and the truth is horrifying for them. Every alien that abandoned Earth 500,000 years ago believed they could control our destiny. They never imagined we could survive, evolve, and prepare for them. They will never forget it now. As the day continued, the aliens focused more intensely on human networks, energy systems, and underground cities. They detected controlled evolution experiments, energy manipulation, and advanced technology that humans had hidden from view. Every discovery made them more cautious, more aware of the threat humanity posed. John Carter and his team continued their observations. They are learning slowly, he said. But the more they learn, the more they realize that humans are not predictable. We are patient, clever, and aware, and that is terrifying for them. Lisa Morris added, they expected weakness, they expected fear. Instead, they see strategy, intelligence, and coordination. They do not understand that our strength is not just in technology, but in our ability to adapt and survive. Amy Foster pointed to the alien fleet. Look at their hesitation. Every move is cautious, careful. They are analyzing, recalculating. They are starting to fear mistakes they never thought possible. Daniel Brooks nodded. And the fear will grow. Soon they will understand that humanity is not just strong. Humanity is a species that does not forgive, does not forget, and never stops learning. That is what makes us terrifying to them. In orbit, the alien commanders communicated with each other. Our assumptions were wrong, one said. Humans are no longer primitive. They have evolved beyond our understanding. We cannot predict their reactions. We must proceed with extreme caution. On Earth, John Carter summarized the situation to the Council. The aliens are beginning to see the truth. They believed they left a weak species. Instead, they have returned to a world that is strong, organized, and fully aware. Humanity has survived every challenge, and we are ready for them. They are beginning to fear us, and that fear will only grow. Lisa Morris added, we are showing them our intelligence, our coordination, and our awareness. They are beginning to understand that Earth is no longer a world to conquer. It is a world to respect or fear. Amy Foster concluded, the aliens will discover the full truth soon. Humanity has survived attempts to control us, attempts to destroy us, and attempts to limit our evolution. Every challenge we faced only made us stronger. And now they are learning that the species they abandoned is more powerful than they could imagine. The night fell again, and the alien fleet hovered silently over the planet. The humans had not attacked, yet the aliens were uneasy. Every move of humanity, every signal, every subtle demonstration of awareness was teaching the aliens a lesson they had never expected. John Carter looked out at the sky. They thought they abandoned a weak species. They were wrong. The truth is horrifying for them. Humans survive, humans adapt, humans grow stronger through every challenge, and now we are ready for whatever comes next. Lisa Morris stood beside him. They came back expecting easy prey, she said quietly. Instead, they found humans who have endured 500,000 years of survival, preparation, and adaptation. The question is, will they understand before it is too late? Amy Foster added. They are learning slowly. But when the full truth hits them, they will realize the mistake they made in underestimating humanity, and that realization will terrify them. Daniel Brooks nodded. We are patient, clever, and aware. We have survived the impossible. And now the aliens will learn the cost of underestimating humanity. Above the planet, the alien fleet hovered, scanning, observing, and recalculating. Below, humans watched, waited, and prepared. The horrifying truth had begun to reveal itself to the aliens. Humanity was no longer weak, primitive, or disposable. Humanity was strong, intelligent, and ready for anything. And for the aliens, that truth was only the beginning of fear. The alien fleet hovered silently above Earth, their ships glowing faintly in the darkness of space. They had spent days scanning, observing, and analyzing humanity. What they had expected to be a weak, primitive species had turned out to be strong, clever, and unpredictable. Every movement, every signal, every demonstration of awareness had shown the aliens that humans were no longer the species they had abandoned 500,000 years ago. John Carter and his team watched the fleet from the command center in New York. The monitors displayed the alien ships moving cautiously, scanning the planet below, but no aggressive action had been taken. Humans had made no attempt to attack. Every measure they took was subtle, calculated, and deliberate, a demonstration of awareness, strength, and control. "They are afraid," John said quietly. "They have realized that Earth is not a weak world. They do not know what we are capable of, and that uncertainty terrifies them." Lisa Morris nodded. "They came back expecting easy prey. Instead, they found a species that survived everything, adapted to everything, and prepared for them. They are beginning to understand that humans are not to be underestimated." Amy Foster pulled up data from the alien fleet. "Their scanning drones are detecting underground cities, hidden energy networks, and controlled evolution experiments. They are starting to realize that humanity's power is not just in technology. It is in our adaptability, our intelligence, and our unity." Daniel Brooks added, "They are beginning to calculate, but they cannot understand everything. They see patterns, but humans are unpredictable. We survive by learning, adapting, and preparing, and they cannot predict our moves." The alien commanders communicated with each other. "These humans, they are not the species we left behind," one said. "They are stronger, smarter, more coordinated. We miscalculated. Proceed with extreme caution." On Earth, the Human Council held an emergency meeting. Leaders from every nation were present, including John Carter, Lisa Morris, Amy Foster, and Daniel Brooks. The situation was tense, but the humans were calm. They had prepared for this moment for centuries. "We have shown them our awareness," John said. "We have demonstrated coordination and intelligence without firing a single weapon. Now it is time to make our position clear. We are prepared to defend ourselves, and we are no longer weak." Lisa Morris added, "They need to understand that we are united, that we have survived and adapted, and that any attack on humanity will be met with full force. But we also need to offer a chance for peaceful resolution. We want them to respect us, not destroy themselves in fear." Amy Foster spoke next. "We have the advantage. They expected chaos, fear, and weakness. Instead, they found strength, intelligence, and coordination. Now we must show them the full scope of humanity without provoking unnecessary conflict. Our goal is control through understanding, not destruction." Daniel Brooks nodded. "We have waited for centuries for this moment. The aliens believed they abandoned a weak species. They did not expect that humans would survive, adapt, and grow stronger. They will learn the cost of underestimating us if they make a mistake." The humans sent a clear, calm signal to the alien fleet. It was a message of intelligence, coordination, and awareness. The signal demonstrated that humans were watching, aware of every movement, and capable of defending themselves if necessary. The aliens detected the signal and paused. They studied it carefully, analyzing the intelligence it contained. For the first time, they understood that humans were no longer primitive. They were organized, aware, and capable of planning on a global scale. One of the alien commanders spoke. "They are aware. They are prepared. They have survived everything we thought could destroy them. We cannot predict their reactions. Proceed with caution." John Carter watched the monitors. "They are beginning to understand that humans are dangerous if provoked. Now it is time to show them our true strength without firing a single shot." Lisa Morris activated a series of controlled energy pulses around major cities and hidden facilities. The pulses were harmless but visible to alien sensors, demonstrating control, coordination, and intelligence. The aliens observed, analyzing every detail. Amy Foster added, "These signals show that we are aware of their presence, capable of defense, and fully coordinated. They cannot attack without risking disaster for themselves. Daniel Brooks pointed to the screen. Look at their hesitation. Every move they make is cautious. They are realizing that humans are not predictable. Our patience and intelligence are teaching them a lesson they never expected. The aliens began to communicate among themselves more frequently. We miscalculated, one commander said. Humans are no longer primitive. They are organized, aware, and fully capable of defense. We underestimated them, and it is terrifying. On Earth, John Carter summarized the situation to the Council. The aliens are beginning to understand that Earth is not a weak world. They thought they could observe without consequence. They are learning that humans survive, adapt, and grow stronger through every challenge. Now we must make our position clear. Lisa Morris added, we are not seeking conflict. We are offering respect and unity. But we are prepared for defense. They must understand that humanity is a species that cannot be controlled, that does not forget, and that will not be underestimated. Amy Foster continued, the aliens treated humans as disposable subjects, experiments, and failures. Every attempt to limit or destroy us only made us stronger. They are beginning to see the horrifying truth. Humanity cannot be controlled or predicted. We survive everything, and we grow stronger through every challenge. Daniel Brooks said, and now they must face the consequence of underestimating us. They cannot calculate our moves, predict our strategy, or understand the depth of our preparation. We are ready for anything, and they know it. The alien fleet hovered in orbit, scanning, observing, and recalculating. Their hesitation grew. They had expected fear, chaos, and weakness. Instead, they found calm, intelligence, and strength. Every move humans made, every subtle demonstration of awareness made the aliens more cautious. John Carter spoke quietly to his team. They are realizing the full truth. Humans are not weak, primitive, or disposable. We are prepared, intelligent, and united. They are learning to fear mistakes they never imagined they could make. Lisa Morris added, we have not fired a single weapon, yet they are uneasy. That shows our true strength. Intelligence, patience, and coordination are more powerful than fear and force. Amy Foster pointed to the alien ships. They are beginning to understand the cost of underestimating humanity. They will not forget it, and soon they will have no choice but to acknowledge our dominance. Daniel Brooks nodded. Our patience and awareness are teaching them a lesson. Every calculation they make is flawed because they cannot account for human adaptability, intelligence, and survival instincts. They are learning the truth, and that truth is terrifying for them. The humans sent another signal, this time a demonstration of global coordination. Every continent, every city, every hidden facility, and every satellite participated in a controlled display of awareness. Energy pulses, light patterns, and signals created a network of intelligence that the aliens could not ignore. The alien commanders paused, analyzing the signals. They are aware of everything, one said. They are united. They are fully prepared. We underestimated them, and the consequences are unimaginable. On Earth, John Carter addressed the Council. The aliens have seen our strength, intelligence, and coordination. They know that any attack would be disastrous. Now it is time to offer them a choice, respect and peaceful integration, or retreat from our space entirely. Lisa Morris added, we have demonstrated that humans are no longer weak or primitive. We are a species that survives everything, adapts, and grows stronger. They must choose wisely or face the consequences. Amy Foster continued, they believed they abandoned us. They did not expect us to survive, evolve, and prepare for them. Now they understand that humanity is a species that cannot be controlled, cannot be predicted, and cannot be underestimated. Daniel Brooks nodded. And if they choose conflict, they will see the cost of their mistake. Humanity does not forget, does not forgive, and will not be underestimated. They must choose wisely. The humans sent a final message to the alien fleet. It was calm, clear, and authoritative. It offered respect and peaceful integration under human protection, but also warned that any attempt to attack or dominate humanity would be met with overwhelming force. The aliens received the message and paused. They analyzed it carefully. The truth had become undeniable. Humans were no longer weak, primitive, or controllable. They had survived, adapted, and grown stronger through 500,000 years of challenges. They could not underestimate humanity, and they could not conquer it without risking destruction. One of the alien commanders spoke. We cannot challenge them. They are too powerful, too intelligent, too unpredictable. We must retreat. We must respect this species or face consequences we cannot survive. The fleet slowly began to withdraw, moving away from Earth. The aliens had learned the cost of underestimating humanity. They had come expecting easy prey, but they found a species that had survived everything, adapted to everything, and prepared for their return. John Carter watched the fleet disappear into the distance. They came back expecting to find weakness, he said quietly. Instead, they found humanity, and that is a mistake they will never forget. Lisa Morris smiled. We did not fire a single shot, and yet they are retreating. That shows the true power of humanity: intelligence, coordination, patience, and adaptability. Amy Foster added, they believed they could control us. They believed they could observe without consequence. Now they understand that humanity cannot be controlled, predicted, or underestimated. We are survivors and we are dominant. Daniel Brooks nodded. And the galaxy will know it soon. Humans have endured 500,000 years of challenges, and now the species that abandoned us has learned our power firsthand. That lesson will not be forgotten. The Council watched in silence as the alien fleet disappeared from orbit. The world had been tested and humanity had passed. The aliens had returned to Earth expecting weakness and fear, but they found intelligence, coordination, and strength. They had learned the truth about humanity, and that truth was terrifying. John Carter looked at the sky, calm but proud. Humanity has survived every challenge history has thrown at it. We have adapted, learned, and grown stronger. The aliens came back expecting weakness, and they found the full power of humanity. Now the galaxy knows, humans are not to be underestimated. Lisa Morris added, we have endured, survived, and thrived, and now we are ready for whatever comes next. The aliens have learned the cost of underestimating us, and the rest of the universe will soon learn it too. Amy Foster smiled. We did not need violence to show our strength. Intelligence, patience, and coordination were enough. The aliens will never forget what they have seen. Daniel Brooks nodded. And humanity will continue to grow, adapt, and survive. No species, no challenge, and no alien force will ever take that away. We are humans and we endure. That is our power and that is our warning. Above Earth, the sky returned to its quiet, peaceful state. The alien fleet had left, retreating with caution and newfound respect. Below, humans continued their lives, aware of their strength, intelligence, and unity. The planet had survived the greatest test it had ever faced, and humanity had proven its dominance without firing a single weapon. And for the first time in 500,000 years, the universe knew the truth about humanity. We survive, we adapt, and we endure. Aliens come back to Earth after 500,000 years. What awaits them is horrifying.